as inclusive as the rainbow, LGBTQ plus culture. So to break the ice, I'll go ahead and tell you what exactly does this arrangement of the alphabet mean. The L stands for lesbian, the G for gay, B for bisexual, T for transgender, Q for queer, and the plus is to be inclusive of all gender and sexual orientations, as well as for our allies. Culture is defined as the views and cardinal virtues that shape rituals, ideals, standards, and social establishments. Minority groups and marginalized communities have their own cultures that they identify with. And this holds true for members of the ever expansive LGBTQ plus community. As with any culture, the LGBTQ plus culture is nuanced with various elements that distinguish this group from others. Their values, their orientation, whether it be individualistic versus collectivistic, and the symbols that create meaning for these cultures. Values among the LGBTQ plus culture are inclusiveness, advocacy, social justice, fairness, and equality. The LGBTQ plus culture is one of boldness and activism. There is pressure to conform to heteronormativity, which is not inclusive of others who deviate from this norm of mainstream society. The LGBTQ plus culture is where you can unburden yourself from rigid ideals. A positive characteristic of our community is the distinctiveness and identification with the culture that fosters the freedom to break away from rigid gender roles and heterosexist trajectory. An example of inclusion within our community is the addition of the black and brown colors to the pride flag to include racial inclusivity. The LGBTQ plus culture is collectivistic in nature. The members of our community value togetherness. Through hardship, the members of our culture have learned to value connection and find comfort in their collective identity. During a study in 2020 by Pearson and others, one participant in the study made reference to the community being their chosen family. In fact, throughout the LGBTQ plus culture, there is a common trend of selecting your chosen family amid rejection from the family units that we were born into. Being connected to the culture provides support for its group members and a source to promote resilience. Among our culture, there is a common symbol that conveys a message of inclusivity and pride. Gilbert Baker is known for designing the first pride flag to be a symbol of pride globally. The origins of the pride flag can be traced back to 1978 at a San Francisco gay and lesbian pride day parade. And I would be remiss at this point if I did not mention that we take part in pride celebrations yearly, typically during the summer months, to celebrate our freedom of expression and to also to further advocate for ourselves and to continue to take up space in mainstream society. And we can thank Marsha P. Johnson, who organized the movement that we now know as the Stonewall Riots back in 1969. And lastly, a common misconception about the LGBTQ plus culture is that transgender is an ideology, when in fact it's about one's gender identity. Sex and gender have historically been conflated, but to the detriment of those trans and gender nonconforming individuals. Sex is based on anatomical differences and usually are assigned at birth. Gender is based on identity, expression, cultural norms, or expressions rather that are stereotypical of a sex. Examples of gender identity are a twin spirit, gender fluid, non binary, transgender, gender nonconforming, and cisgender. Roughly 0.5% to 0.7% of the population identify as being gender diverse. But please note that those are only estimates and the number could possibly be higher. LGBTQ plus individuals have always been around, and the first record dating of our existence dates back to about 5,000 years ago. Gender diverse individuals have been pathologized by the APA dating back to the 1950s. Laws are still being submitted through state and federal Congress to transgress the gender diverse populations. But this is nothing new, and it has been going on for centuries on a global scale. This level of discrimination has also impacted the type of care received by healthcare providers. Discrimination undermines the well-being of the gender diverse population. The LGBTQ plus community are not sensitive crybabies, but a minority group that has thrived amid adversity for centuries and continues to thrive. Thank you for your time. If there are any further questions that you may have, please feel free to reach out. And here's also a list of my references. Thank you. Have a great day.